So Frank Bruno, fight number 6 as a pro. Won 5 in a row. Now he faces this giant from Newcastle, George Scott, who stands 6 feet 5 inches. So he's a couple of inches taller than Bruno. And George Scott, very interesting man, because as far as I know, he's the only Englishman who's ever fought Jerry Cooney. Jerry Cooney, who recently fought Larry Holmes for the World Heavyweight Championship. And in fact, George Scott once boxed Jerry Cooney when they were amateurs. Happened in Leeds in 1975 in a match between the Northern Counties and New York. And Scott was stopped in the second round. Well, Bruno's been over to the States this summer, having a look at the gyms and meeting Larry Holmes and just finding out what the pro game is like in the States. And brought Marvin Stinson, American heavyweight, over to this country in order to spar with him to get ready for this fight. Stinson alleged to be on £1,000 a week in London to spar with Bruno. Anyway, let's see what has rubbed off on Bruno. Nobody has taken Bruno further than 4 rounds so far in the professional ring. And Scott already covering up and going down. And looks extremely hurt. Oh dear. Just over 2 minutes gone. Plenty of time for Bruno to finish this in the first round. And he's got him again. Scott simply can't take his punches. And like 1 or 2 opponents already who've met Bruno, they lose heart very quickly. He's had 2 one-round wins already, Bruno. This might be the 3rd. He's still got half a minute to finish it. Scott doing nothing but covering up, and Sid Nathan's seen enough. He's decided that Scott is in no fit state to continue, and I don't think Scott wanted to. And so Bruno marks up win number 6. So maybe Marvin Stinson has done him a bit of good. That's a very quick win, well inside the 3 minutes. That's the 3rd one-round win Bruno's had as a pro. And he finishes Scott rather quicker than Jerry Cooney managed back in 1975. And this is how it all finished, with Scott trying to cover up and really doing nothing except trying to keep himself from real trouble. The former Belgian heavyweight champion, the roly-poly figure of Rudy Gower, who is no stranger to this ring, because it was here that he fought John L. Gardner a couple of years ago for the vacant European heavyweight champion. He went 9 rounds with John L. Gardner before he turned it in. Now, how far will he go with Bruno? And the Bruno digs begin to sink into the soft, I was going to say the underbelly, but that would be illegal. But somewhere in that mound of flesh around the ribs of Gower. And again, right into the ribs. And Gower, a man who clearly has seen his best days. The former Belgian champion. Bruno seems to be hitting him absolutely at will. And Gower, I don't think, quite knows what's happening to him. Belgian's back, scored with the red marks where he's been forced up against the ropes. Gower 15 stone 2, Bruno 15-6. Bruno. Well, there were moments in that first round when Goey, Belgium, didn't quite know what was happening to him, trapped in a neutral corner and just having to take everything that Bruno threw, and perhaps it's a sign of his strength that he didn't go down. Start of the second round, and the Belgium is over, and that might be it for the night, and it is KO, second round. Bruno the bomber, his third fight in a month, his ninth in all, and still no one has taken him beyond 4 rounds. Now, how can his opponent tonight do? The blonde man from Germany, the former German heavyweight champion, George Butzbach. 26 years old, 5 years older than Bruno, and considerably more experienced. But recent form, not too impressive. Very few fights in the last couple of years. George Butzbach of West Germany. And Frank Bruno, winner of all his 8 pro fights, all of them inside the distance. It's just 8 months since Bruno began his professional career after a distinguished amateur career, and already he's established himself quite positively as the best young heavyweight prospect in Britain. So much so that he's already being talked about as a likely opponent for the comeback of Joe Bugner. Butzbach has only been stopped once in his professional career by the South African Kali Kanutsi. That was back in '79. But to be honest, he's done very little of note since the South African stopped him, and that defeat seems to have sickened him of the game, and that punch, the left hand, will most certainly sicken him again. Round 1. Up at 7. A minute to go, and he's signalled retirement. He can't go on. The German can't or doesn't want to go on. One punch destroyed all ambitions, and Bruno does it again. Number 9. And really, that is the shortest he's had yet. A fortnight ago at Wembley, when Bruno faced the German, George Butzbach. Butzbach has only been stopped once in his professional career by the South African Kali Kanutsi. That was back in '79. But to be honest, he's done very little of note since the South African stopped him, and that defeat seems to have sickened him of the game, and that punch, the left hand, will most certainly sicken him again. And this time we've got a very big man indeed, 6'4" Gilberto Acuno, comes from Costa Rica, wearing the white shorts. And Bruno, of course, comes from Wandsworth in London. All wins so far for Bruno, and not many men have gone very far with him. And if this one goes, he'll go with a real bang, because he is very tall, and he weighs just over 16 stone. Oh, there we are. Bang. 35 seconds. And his legs have gone. Oh, it's all over. Quickest yet, 40 seconds on my watch. Acuna's complaining, but his legs have gone. Harry Gibbs is having an argument with him. The man from Costa Rica says it's all unfair. Gibbs is pushing him away into the corner. And Bruno, the other side, taking it all very impassively, because he's getting quite used to knocking people over that fast. 40 seconds. A new record for Bruno. He goes repairs to the right eye. The one that was so vulnerable in the fight against Bugner. Well, this was the early whirlwind, and Nielsen didn't know where he was or what was hitting him. Everything was coming in, and in the first 10 seconds, he was on the seat of his pants. Round 2. 21-year-old Bruno 32-year-old Nielsen, and Nielsen with that vulnerable right eye damaged, cut. Nielsen 15 stone 9, a pound and a half heavier than Bruno. Well, Nielsen in his heyday put a few people away, but he was always a bit vulnerable himself to the big punch. Never fought for the British title. Retired from the ring, made a comeback last year after 3 years out. And Bugner's the only man who's beaten him so far in the comeback. Done a good job on the eye, it's not bleeding. Bruno moving well and mixing his punches well. And Nielsen's bobbing head, a constant target for those Bruno bombs. 2 rounds he's got through. You wouldn't have bet on him getting through one. Bruno looking for his 14th successive professional win. His first year as a professional now behind him. And nobody has yet taken him as far as 5 rounds. Sid Nathan having a close look at the repair work being done to Nielsen's right eye. And you can't help feeling that that might be the thing that beats Nielsen in the end.
Seconds out, round 3.
Bruno upright, a giant. Nielsen a big man, but crouching over and taken with the right hand early in the 3rd. And he looks to his corner, his eye's gone, and Sid Nathan says that'll be enough. And there's slight worse damage now to Lithgow's left eye. It looks to me as though he may be cut above as well as underneath. Well, Gordon Ferris beat Lithgow in 2 rounds, and Bruno hasn't done that, or even 3. The eye's bleeding rather worse now on Lithgow. A lot of blood now running down the face of the man from Hartlepool. And that eye may well be the thing in the end that beats Lithgow and not Bruno's punch. Bruno being drawn again and again into clinches and close quarter mauling where he can't really make his punches tell. So he's getting quite a little test here, and signs of his inexperience here being shown up. But he has to come through these things if he's going to get anywhere. This is how he learns, not from knocking people over quickly. Staying in very close and holding on. Trying to deny Bruno the chance to get a clean shot at him.
Break! Come on, there you go, full break, stand back. Stand back, full break.
The bleeding seems to have stopped of its own accord. And there's the end of the fourth, which means that Lithgow will take Bruno further than he's ever been. And that's an achievement in itself for the 25-year-old man from the northeast of England. And Sid Nathan's being called over. Now, I think they may be calling it a day with trouble round the eye. Denny Mancini, the manager, is asking Nathan to have a look at the damage around that left eye. And I think Mancini's going to call it a day. And Lithgow doesn't want it called off, and he's protesting to his own manager. And Mancini says, no, you're not going back in there with that injury around the eye. And Lithgow doesn't like that decision from his own manager. And Bruno's come over to commiserate. And Lithgow is a very, very...
Third round then, and this is a round in which Bruno has never stopped anybody so far in his career. It's all happened in the first, second and fourth rounds of his 11 contests so far as a pro. Oh, that's a good shot, that uppercut to the head. And then we're standing up to them very well indeed. I must say that every time I see Bruno, he seems to have learned a few more boxing tricks out from the Terry Lawler stable. Switches the attack better now than he did in his first few bouts from head to body. More variation of his punches. And uses his footwork a little better too. He's not quite so static now. Improving all the time. And that man's ribs are really suffering. He's had enough of it. He's hurt. He's certainly hurt. That really was a damaging body punch. The right hand to the rib cage. He took a headshot afterwards as well. But he took that right hand to the left rib cage 2 or 3 times before in the contest. And that bout ends in the third, the 12th victory for Frank Bruno. He's stopped them all. That's the first one he's stopped.
As the fight progresses, experience and inexperience will show.
Seconds on. Round 3.
The big left of Bruno's goes straight in. Ledoux's left eye patched, but still looking red. There's some blood still there. And he looks to have quite a nasty cut above that left eye. Almost a vertical cut above it. It's in a dangerous place. Barely started, and yet we've had quite our share of sensations already. Ledoux down and now cut, and blood seeping from the cut again. And as Floyd Patterson was saying, the man is 34, and ambition probably is long since gone. And he's not struggling to win here, but struggling to survive. And that eye is looking quite nasty, and Larry O'Connell wants the blood wiped away so he can get a closer look at it. Bruno's gone to a neutral corner. And I think Larry O'Connell is saying he can't go on, and that is exactly what he's saying in the third round. Just under 2 minutes of round 3. Ledoux is pulled out of the fight by the referee with a bad cut on his left eye. And Bruno has marked up win number 15 in his professional career.
5 seconds of round 3.
And this Wembley crowd disappointed that they didn't get more of a fight. Beginning to boo.
Seconds out, round 4.
Well, only America's Ron Gibbs and Stuart Lithgow, another English fighter, have gone into this fourth round with Bruno before, and now the 34-year-old Barry Funches does the same. Will it last, though, if he takes more like that? Good right hand by Funches. But he's giving away a stone here, remember, and it didn't really trouble Bruno, but it was delivered well. Now there's the right hand. We haven't seen too many rights from Bruno so far. Funches is still using the ring pretty well and looking fit. Now Bruno did well there to switch his attack and brought the uppercut into effect. Well, it looks as though Bruno will be enjoying a new experience shortly of actually going into the 5th round of a contest. Seeing his punching power, I hesitate to say things like that, mind you, and that was another useful jab. So we're near the end of round 4. A useful right hand right at the end there. And Funches walks back to his corner, looking a pretty weary man with a slight swelling under the right eye. But he's proven so far here to be the best opponent so far that Frank Bruno has met. It will shortly be going into new territory for Bruno, round 5.
Second out, round 5.
So round 5 it is. And in go those solid jabs again. Bruno's philosophy, despite some of the criticism he takes about stopping men quickly and not gaining the experience, that's what he wants to do. He just likes to stop fights. Down goes Funches. It was the uppercut there that did it. And he might not make it.
With the world champion, Larry Holmes. Holmes has given him a little bit of advice.
I don't want to have to put these guys off, you know. Sure. You separate them, but I don't have to fight them. Okay.
The referee just saying that he doesn't want to have to do too much work and let him box and not too much leaning on. Second round. Jameson had his first pro fight in January 1980 while Bruno was still an amateur. carefully covering up inside on the ropes. There's the strength of Bruno as he heaves Jameson round and leaves him on the ropes. And for the first time, Bruno lets one or two of the big ones go. Well, if Frank Bruno is going to make any impression on the world heavyweight scene, this is the country in which he has to really look good. And this fight tonight is, or this afternoon, is vitally important for him. That was a good left hook, and it's taken everything out of Jameson. His leg came up, his right leg came up as he got hit, and the following punch sent him crashing down, and that, I think, is going to be the end of this fight. Bruno has just shown the American public what he can do with a punch. Lawless is delighted. That is an amazing win. He threw two quick punches, and he knocked everything out of Jameson, who's also cut into the bargain. Let's have a look. His leg came up twitching as he got hit. It was an extraordinary blow. And he's still on the floor, Jameson. There's the left hook. His leg kept, there's the leg in reaction coming up. And that following right uppercut as he was about to go down took him out absolutely cold. They were two terrifying punches. And he's cut as well. And Bruno, naturally enough, looks back a little anxiously at the man who's still on the canvas. That was an extraordinary finish. Well, we talk about Bruno's punching power at home and the fact that he can punch with either hand, and he's proved all